in the day one pools will have a chance to face off against one another, play other teams around the same level, and get a chance to show what they can do here.
Agreed completely. Here at Riptide, it is never over after day one. You are always still in it. That's what these teams are going to be showing us today. There's still a lot to fight for because now each bracket that you're in bronze, you're in teams that were also in bronze, silver, teams that were also in silver. So now's your chance to prove it. Hey, no more monsters in your pool. You've got players of like skill, so let's see what you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we see the maps that these teams are going to be playing on. We will be starting with game one, Tower Control on Mako Mart. This is a map mode that has become very, very prominent here in competitive Splatoon. These teams will absolutely have plenty of experience with this if they have experience with competitive at all. And so we are going to see here what the teams are going to bring onto this map mode.
We've been playing this one for 7 years, gang. Mako Mart since Splatoon 2. And right away, looking at these comps, Rising Moon, when I'm thinking Mako, I'm thinking Slosher. And I see one on Rising Moon, so instantly I'm thinking that's the edge to them. But we are going to be heading in. I'm excited to see these comps, Jordan. Let's get hyped for game one of day two, folks.
Yeah, we've got that sloshing machine and the Nautilus I see, and then there is a Flingza roller over there, a foil Flingza roller. That'll bring out the splatter color screen special. Ooh, interesting. Buff Yoshi going for that sub power up on the heavy edit. Interesting that they're going to be using that with their curling bomb rather than using something like comeback or even last ditch effort. Here we see one going down already on both teams. Swagmaster looking for another pick on the Tower Rider. That appears to be Squish who is riding the tower. They've made it to the first checkpoint, but they've got the bubble on it, which should allow them to get past it.
Yeah, nice clean pick by the roller, though, to stop it for now, as Toon will go up 4-1. And, man, they broke that check, but they did not get too much further. And on this map, it's all about that second stretch. As the specials are going to come up, but a nice pick from Rising Moon as Buff Yoshi is able to roll forwards. The Booyah's coming out, still stuck in neutral here for now. Jordan, who is going to be the player or weapon to watch in this game?
Yeah, that's a great question. Slosher here, I think, from the side of Rising Moon. That Slosher, that is Minty, who is going to be able to right now they are looking at a flank. There's two players who have gotten around behind them, but that heavy edit splatling from Yoshi. Yoshi is able to get one of them and maybe call out that the other one is still there. That is Swagmaster from behind on top of that stack, but not able to get the pick here. The shots that are coming out from those Dually Squelchers aren't enough to get a splat on the Tower Riders, and the tower is already almost at the goal, but Buff Yoshi is too far away and has to back out.
Stuffed at the 3, but my goodness, you have to think that that could be a game-winning push. Buff Yoshi's going to get pinched there, and suddenly we've got a nice numbers advantage for Toon, who's going to be roaring back here. Unfortunate bomb death there, it looked like, but they're going to be looking to put something together with control of mid. Now, what they've got to combat here is the excellent special coordination that we've seen from Rising Moon so far. Jordan, how do you think they can do that?
Yeah, I think that Rising Moon, just like you said, the specials, that those tri-strikes are even able to get the splat on one of those players, and there's that jump coming in, the bomb well placed to get the splat as well. And now Rising Moon able to get another pretty quick stop here onto Toon, stopping them at that first checkpoint. And Toon doesn't have the same kind of tools like that big bubbler that Rising Moon had to get through the first checkpoint, which can be a pretty big sticking point if you're not able to get a significant numbers advantage. Buff Yoshi here putting out that tacticaler. It is a little bit far away and a bit far back. I wonder if Minty was trying to go backwards to get that tacticaler, but got taken out by Swagmaster in the process, who does put down that wave breaker, but does the wave breaker get run over by the tower? I think it did.
Oh boy, that's always unfortunate, whether that happens with your juice or your wave breaker, but a nice bomb double, leaving QP as the last one up as this machine. Slosher v Slosher, they are going to, oh whoa, what is going on over there? They are going to get picked, and Rising Moon is going to be rolling once again, bubble coming out, but Jordan, it's going to take a lot for them to get this knockout, don't you think?
Yeah, it is going to take a lot, but they do have all of the checkpoints already gone through. They have the momentum here. The tower is rolling, and I think they're going to make it.
Commentators curse. It did not take a lot for them at all to make that, as Rising Moon is able to, they had a few stops along the way offensively, but for the most part, that game was all purple, and they're heading into game 2 with a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good for Rising Moon. Compared to where Toon is, Rising Moon definitely were able to hold control for a lot more of that game. They were able to get a very... They had the first push, they stopped the second push quickly, and they stopped the later push that Toon made pretty quickly. So this is looking very good for Rising Moon here as we move to game 2, Splat Zones on Umami Ruins.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how these teams are going to adjust. I still think that bucket roller duo can do well on Umami, so I don't see too many changes coming out from Rising Moon. But what do you think about Toon? You're down 0-1. You could either go two ways here. You could panic and make too many changes, or you could make no changes and then the same result will happen. What do you think is their best move here to tie this setup?
I think that even if you don't make any changes, you still have the possibility of putting something together, because it's not all about the weapons that you pick. It's how you choose to play with them, and it's really how you coordinate and how you put together those pushes. I think really what Toon might be worried about here is an early lockout from Rising Moon, because if Rising Moon are able to get control early on and just lock Toon into their own base here, that can be pretty nasty on Umami Ruins, and being able to break that lockout efficiently is really what separates the best teams, and I think that will be something that both teams are going to want to have to do.
Hot take. Zones, out of all the modes in this game, is the one that's most about coordination. Because if on defense you're coming back in one at a time and not as a group, that's the win condition, right? That timer's just going to keep on going down as they feed you from an XP farm. That is not what we want to happen. So I think from Toon's perspective, you cannot let that happen. You've got to have that rock-solid mental. But what are your thoughts? Zones, yay or nay, the #1 mode that requires coordination?
I think that's an interesting thing, because on a mode like Clams or Rainmaker, you can have one single player sneak back and move the objective and score points without the other team noticing. Tower is another mode, tower control, where you really need to be able to protect the objective, and you can't really do much without the other team realizing it. But Splat Zones, I think, is the mode where that is the most of the case. You can't have a single player sneak by to immediately score points. They can start to paint the zone and neutralize it, but it'll take a lot of work to completely turn it around if you're able to sneak through.
Yeah, it can be kind of an uphill mountain to climb. If you see that timer going down, one person dives to a stray bomb, it's like, well, now it's a 3v4 for the next 5 seconds. What do we do? Instead of these other modes, you're right, somebody can sneak in the rain, somebody can do a sneaky power jump, whatever the case may be. So I'm excited to see. We're going to see here if Toon is shaken by that first game or if they're still focused and ready. Because, I mean, 10 a.m. having to go up on stage for your first game, that's got to be pretty stress-inducing.
Oh, yeah. We will hope these teams got a good night's sleep, had a healthy breakfast, and are raring to go here as they are brought up for everyone to see here on the big screen for their first set of the morning.
It could go one of two ways, right? Like your breakfast could be an entree of coffee and a beverage of Red Bull, or it could be something a little bit more healthy. Like, hey, they all say Falco, and everyone says in their land prep stuff, eat a salad once in a while. My brain's like, no, cheeseburger. But the salad occasionally is good. When you need that energy, you need to be on it at all times. But Jordan, how's your Riptide weekend been going as we're loading in here?
Yeah, my weekend has been absolutely fantastic. I'm so glad to be here. So glad to see all of the people who I mostly just see online. And another thing that's really funny is that I played at a local a few months back with a pickup team, and all 3 of my teammates from that local are here, and all 4 of us are in 4 different teams.
Oh my gosh, what are the odds?
Yeah, it's great. And so I'm just running into people who I know from online, from other lands, and just taking in the atmosphere, because this is the biggest North American Splatoon LAN that we have seen to date, with over 100 teams, over 400 participants
Crazy.
plus spectators, but we are going to see 8 of those players as we load into Umami Ruins here. That is a Hydra Splatling coming out, and it looks like Rising Moon are sticking with something similar, except they have
Double Splatling.
Yeah, the Rising Moon have gone for the heavy edit Nouveau with the Crab Tank, and they've brought out the NZAP 85 for their Tacticoolers.
Yeah, that's a nice swap. It kind of lets them be a little bit more anchory with that Crab while being a little bit more mobile up front. Right away, Rising Moon going to be getting the first pick. Double Splatlings, though, Jordan, I'm interested. What do you need to do to make that work?
Yeah, I think the key with double Splatling is having one of the long-range Splatlings, like the Hydra or the Heavy Splatling, and then a more mobile, more frontline Splatling, such as the Nautilus, or like we have here, the Gold Nautilus, or the Mini. Now, we see that Rising Moon have already taken the first points of this game, and but Toon have prevented that from turning into a wipe or into total control here. And both teams bringing out the specials here and getting trades as the zone is still pretty neutral.
Yeah, we are seeing just this stuck in neutral, but finally now Rising Moon is starting to clear out members of Toon, and I think that is the tune of this game that we're going to see is against 2 Splatlings and a Dually Squelchers. You're going to have to grind it out and be patient, and they are thus far continuing to sustain their numbers advantage. That Slosher getting a great pick, Minty up top to keep the stagger. The Hydra is pinched as well, and oh my gosh, Jordan, this could be a knockout.
This could be a knockout here as 2 more go down. Was that a bomb or a Slosher hit that got those 2 picks? We need to see the specials coming out. The Swagmaster has that triple splashdown ready, but that'll need to get something going. Emu gets taken out here. Swagmaster will want to go in. The Tri-Strikes are coming out, but the team will need to push out with this. They do have the specials ready to go. There's only 10, 9, 8 ticks left on this timer. They need to get to the zone right away. They only need to take one side, but it's not fast enough.
Wow, wow, wow. A dominant performance from Rising Moon, and it certainly sounds like the crowd may be on their side as well, hooting and hollering back there. But oh my gosh, I mean, 2 Splatlings or no, I'm kind of wondering at this point if maybe Toon went to too much of a midline comp, because when they were on, they needed that offense to get back in. It seemed like it just wasn't there because they had all midline and backline.
Yeah, you got to worry about the retake here. You need to be you need a plan to get back in if you're locked out, and you need to be able to execute that plan. And it looks like it might have just taken them too long to recognize that they needed to coordinate with their specials. They needed to put something together as a team. And we did see that they had that towards the end as the timer was ticking down. They got those specials. They had them all ready to go and use them in sequence. They had the strikes and the Booyah Bomb coming out and that triple splashdown ready to go, but they weren't able to get there in time. Those stray splats that Rising Moon got on them really must have been difficult for them to take in terms of getting back together.
Yeah, speaking of which, let's talk about Minty. Let's talk about the roller player on Rising Moon. Oh my gosh, they were just all up in Toon's base, getting not even trades, just getting clean picks. And like we were talking about before, that is the win condition for zones. But we're headed in quickly to Rainmaker and Undertow. They're going to swap that Hydra out for a CRB. And on the other end, looks like they're keeping it pretty much the same.
Yeah, that is the same comp that we saw in the last game. Buff Yoshi still going for that sub power up here on that particular Splatling, but it is more interesting to more I would say expected to see with the Splat Bombs compared to the Curling Bombs. Anyway, as we see here, Rising Moon do get that Rainmaker picked up first, and a few players from Toon, they aren't particularly spread out here. They're all kind of grouped up on the left. Oh, QP does get taken out there. I think that might have been the Rainmaker shot taking them out, and Swagmaster almost goes down to that as well. They do have the Wave Breaker ready to go, but they're out of position here. Both players on Toon are out of position as Rising Moon have a clear shot to get to that first tech point.
Oh, and they are getting all these jumps on the side. So even though at one point it was just the Rainmaker, now it's going to be everybody geared up for a big push for Rising Moon. The strikes are coming out. The blaster's coming from behind, but Squish is going to smash that blaster and get 2 and trying to get a Rainmaker triple, trying to push it past the 40s. That's going to be a knockout. That's going to be the game. And for Rising Moon, Moon. The Wolves on Rising Moon are howling with a 3-0 set win. They'll go on to the next round of bronze pools. Well, it's Swiss, right? But they're starting off strong, Jordan.
Oh my gosh, I hope Squish clipped that. That was 4 Rainmaker splats in a row. That was incredible. Just one at a time. Just take it out, take him out, take him out, and take them out to get them all the way to that checkpoint. That was absolutely incredible push there coming out from all of Rising Moon, and Squishy holding the Rainmaker like that and just using it as a weapon.
For real. And I mean, some people say, yeah, Rainmaker, I don't like it because it's too fast. That was exciting. That was awesome.